Hi guys, I am Max and you are listening to the Max BB podcast. So this is my third episode, and today I have Mark Dolan joining me. Hi Mark, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Max. Yeah, and it's an absolute honour to be invited to do this podcast with you. I've been really excited actually for the last few days. So, yeah. Can't wait to hear what questions you've got.
What have you been up to then recently?
Well, it's the first day of the holidays from work, so that's been quite nice. And I set myself a little challenge this morning of running a 10k race in Manchester. So that's been pretty cool. Although the weather wasn't brilliant, it was really nice to get out and do a run. And then I've just finished listening to the Sheffield United match actually, which was a fantastic 0-0 draw.
Well, I'll see you then. So, how did your 10k go?
It actually went really well. So I started running again about 8 weeks ago, and I've been kind of training towards a 10k, which has been really nice. And then this morning, like I say, I entered the 10k, and I think I've not got the results through yet, but I think there was about 1,000 runners, and my aim was to come in the top 100. And well, I don't know. Jenna was watching, and Jenna seems to think that she thought I was in around about the top 50. So if that's true, then that's amazing. But I don't know. I'm waiting for the results, so we shall see. But I will definitely keep you posted on the results. And, we'll see how it goes.
Definitely. Let's hope that you've fingers crossed that you've come high. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll have to wait and see for them. So I'll start with a few questions. So, firstly, what's your day job?
So my day job is a PE teacher in a specialist school, which I absolutely love. I've been a PE teacher for quite a few years now. In fact, from September, I'll be going into my 10th year, which is crazy. Which is really good. And I wouldn't change it for the world. It's a fantastic job. I get to work with lots of different people. I get to go to lots of different schools and play lots of different competitions and things. And I just think it's a really nice job where I come away with the satisfaction of teaching others, like yourself, Max, which is, obviously a pleasure as always. And, so it's just a really, really nice job. So my day job is a PE teacher.
What did you want to be when you were a kid?
To be quite honest, I think I was always into sport when I was at school. So I always wanted to go into a job related to sport. And I think teaching was one of the jobs that I did fancy. But I also, like I say, I was quite happy to go into some sort of coaching role or something along those lines. But it was, I think when I was kind of in about year 10, when it was GCSE level, and that's when I really started to kind of focus on PE and particularly in teaching. So my PE teacher himself, massive inspiration to me. And I think one of the things that was really kind of interesting was that you kind of had to choose your best subjects, as it was, going into year 10 for GCSEs. And one of my other best subjects was actually art. And I used to love art, and I still do love art, but it was just that I had to choose at the time, and sport was always going to win. So, it was kind of like, I chose sport, went on to college and did, it was a diploma in sport, and then went on to Sheffield University. But I think in the back of my mind, I always knew that I wanted to work in some sort of coaching, teaching role. And then, and as it's developed, I've been in various different schools and things. So, I think it started from quite an early age. But it was just, I don't know, I just got inspiration from various different areas, and my PE teacher being one of them.
Yeah, so, so that's something hopefully that I want to, get into as well, and hopefully I can achieve it. So
I think as well, I think sport is very powerful, and I think that's, I think that was, for me, that was, I could see myself achieving in sport, and not just playing sport. It was, it was actually, kind of giving back to others within sport. So I think that was where kind of my inspiration came from as well, because my family in general are not a hugely kind of sporting family. In terms, I mean, it was just something that I really enjoyed myself. I played football from a young age and things, and like you say, you do get hooked into things. And playing sport and teaching it is, I enjoy both. So yeah, really good.
Yeah, I've got hooked into sport. I've got other interests, but sports my main one. I really want to pursue a career in sport. So I want to be involved either playing it or coaching it or writing about it or chatting about it.
Well, I hope you do, because I think you'll be brilliant if you do, Max.
Yeah, honestly, I really do want to. So I know you have recently become a dad. How are you finding it?
I did indeed. Yeah, it was. It's been amazing so far. In fact, she's 16 weeks today. So yeah, and Jenna said to me today, she said, will you give me a shout out, me and Esme a shout out on Max's podcast. So I'll say hello to Jenna and Esme. But no, 16 weeks today. She's growing fast, and yeah, to be honest, she's changing every day, and yeah, it's amazing. And one thing that she did do on Thursday night, we went out Thursday after work, and we came back. She was laid on the floor for 5 minutes and she rolled over. So that was there. So just these little things. It's really nice. Yeah.
Oh, you'll be running after her soon. So, I already know the answer to this one, but obviously I've got to ask for the listeners. So owl or blade?
Well, you definitely do know the answer to that one. There's only one for me, I'm afraid, and it is the Blades. I know it's a bit of rivalry, but definitely the Blades. What about yourself? Are you sure you don't want to change?
Boo! Shocking, Mark. Come on, you always know the city's always been blue.
It's red and white, isn't it? Paint the town red.
Nah, when does all die? So, moving on from that for a sec. I want to talk about one of my other interests, Boccia. Every time I tell someone about someone that I play Boccia, they never know what it is. So can you make split? Can you explain it to our listeners what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right, really, and I think we do get that a lot. I think boccia, it's a Paralympic sport, but actually, when you mention boccia, how many people know about it? It's a very niche sport. It's it's something that's been around a long time, but actually, if you were to say, football or cricket or tennis, something like that, but then you say boccia and people are like, oh, what's boccia? Never heard of it, never seen it, and quite often I'll point people in the way of YouTube videos and things to go and watch and have a look. So boccia is it's a very unique sport, very similar to French bowls. I think a lot of people kind of say it's a similar sort of sport. So it's a target-based sport where you have two teams. It could be a singles, a pairs, or a team, and you have red and blue boccia balls where you're aiming for a single jack ball. So the idea is that the closest team to the jack ball will take the points, but within boccia, it's for people with any disability, and and it varies widely across the sport. You've got players who use ramps and in general have more severe disabilities, but the ramp allows them to access the game on a level playing field. And then you've got various kind of different classifications within throwers as well. So you've got, your throwers all vary hugely as well. So I think with the sport itself, like I say, we would just say, I think for me, it's a target-based sport, which requires a lot of skill and accuracy and a lot of repetition. And I think a lot of people, in fact, one of our players, Joe, he always says that it's very similar to darts in the fact that it's very repetitive. So you have to use like a repetitive action. And I think that just helps players to kind of become better and more consistent. So a very unique game, one to watch out for, and definitely, we hope to see some of our players and yourself, Max, possibly at the Special Olympics as well in the future.
It were real shame that last year we missed out on a great chance to play, obviously, in the Special Olympics, obviously because of COVID. Okay, so when's the next chance we've got?
It will be 2020. So it's every 4 years. So it runs like the Olympics, Paralympics. It was 2017 was Sheffield. 2021 was supposed to be Liverpool, and then the next national one will be 2025. But there's also games in between. So just as an example, we had the Stirling Games in Scotland in 2018, which was the anniversary games, and there's lots of local competitions as well. So it's a really good kind of opportunity for players to get involved with some big competitions there.
So now you run Boccia Sheffield. So why did you start it?
Yeah, it's actually a really good question, that, and there was a number of reasons. I mean, if we go back 10 years, I think it was 2012, I believe, when the Olympics, Paralympics were in London. And I first got involved in boccia through another school that I worked at with someone that I supported. And we entered various schools competitions and things like that. And then I got involved with a club, with the Sheffield Smashers. And I was coaching there. And I think there was a couple of reasons behind me kind of setting up my own club. And the main one was that there was a lot of players at Sheffield Smashers, and it was a very good social for some players. So it was a really nice kind of get together each week. Players would come down, have a chat, have a laugh, and it was just really nice atmosphere. But then there was also a lot of players that wanted to compete, and it didn't really match very well. So you kind of got competition players and you kind of social players, which is fantastic. And the one reason that I set the club up was to try and give more competition opportunities. So the idea behind it was I set the club up for that reason in 2014. And what we kind of decided is if we got new players in between Boccia Sheffield and the Sheffield Smashers. So, for example, I'll get emails now if Sheffield Smashers get a new player and they'll say, "Oh, we've got a player that's really interested in competition. Can they come and have a look at your club?" And vice versa. So if there's a player that comes to us and actually, they really want to play for the social side and enjoy it and things, which is obviously what both clubs offer, but we often recommend them to the Smashers as well. So it works vice versa. And I just I wanted to see players develop and do well and go into competitions. And, I think we've done that over the years. So that was the main reason. So the club is 8 years old as well now.
Cheers, Mal, for explaining that. So, what do you think about me starting this podcast?
Yeah, I think it's amazing, to be honest. When I heard about it, I thought, well, what a fantastic idea. And I'll be honest, it's not something I've really kind of been into myself with podcasts, but I know I hear a lot of people talking about podcasts. And in fact, actually, it was only this morning. My brother said to me, "Oh, why do you listen to some podcasts while you was running?" So I was telling my brother all about your podcast, and I was doing this afternoon. So I just think it's fantastic, to be honest, Max. And I think it's really, it's really nice that you're going to be interviewing different people, and listeners can listen. Is it every week? I think is that the idea?
We record on the Weekend the Niggers every Wednesday.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like I say, I think it's a great idea, and I'm definitely going to be listening to your future ones. Yeah, not sure. I wonder if I'll listen to myself. Like I don't know. I don't like. We'll see. But no, I'll definitely listen to the future ones and things. And yeah, I'm sure you've got some great people lined up for your future podcast. So yeah, so well done so far, and good luck with the rest of them as well. Yeah.
Moving on. So I know you're gonna hate this next one, but we're gonna talk about Wednesday.
Are you sure? I mean, I can finish there if you want. Go on, I'll let you off.
This is the Blue podcast. So put hold the rivalry to one side, and tell me what do you think about Wednesday's chances of promotion this season?
To be honest, I think I think maybe if you'd gone back 7, 8, 9, 10 games, you possibly, a lot of people were saying you were kind of, just outside the playoffs or a bit lower, kind of dropping down 9th, 10th. And now you've been on a good run. And yeah, I think you're just outside those playoff places. You've got a bit of momentum, and you seem to be, like I say, I think when you get that momentum, it's a really kind of crucial time towards the end of the season as well. And, it's going to be right from now, right to the end of the season, you keep a squad that's, injury free, hopefully, and try and push into those playoffs. And to be quite honest, I think if you look across the division and things, you've definitely got a squad to get promoted, and I think you've got a good manager as well. I think it takes time, new managers come in, new ideas. So yeah, I mean, I don't particularly like saying it, but yeah, I do think you've got a good chance.
We've been hampered by obviously injury. Obviously loads of injuries to him as key players, and obviously that's still happening.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think over a season, he took 46 matches. It's a long season,
yeah, okay.
And I think especially because some matches got cancelled and things, so you're playing a lot of Saturday, Tuesdays, Saturday, Wednesdays, so injuries do catch up with you, and there's no doubt about it. There's certain times of the season where you might have a really good run, but then you might have a really poor run, so let's see what happens. I think you've got as good a chance as anyone, but hopefully if you get promoted, I'm hoping United get promoted as well.
Let's hope not on that second one. Have you enjoyed getting back in the ground and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly miss going to the matches over, I mean, during the lockdown stuff, watching it on television just wasn't the same, and it's been great to be back in the ground and, and also just seeing friends and stuff and enjoying the match. It's really nice to have things going back to normal. And I think it does make a massive difference. I mean, I'm not making any excuses for why Sheffield United got relegated, but I do think it was one of the reasons, possibly.
Yeah, so that must have been our reason. Is I'll just fans really can criticise when needed, and they can drive it, and I think obviously for both clubs, I think that's what we're missing last season, and obviously that's factoring the double relegations. Yeah, so do you look forward to the Steel City derbies?
Yeah, I think. I mean, if you're a Sheffield United fan or a Sheffield Wednesday fan, how can you not look forward to the Steel City derby? It's one of the best derbies for me. It's it's a huge derby. It's we're literally just across the city. There's a lot of pride at stake, and I think every time I watch a Steel City derby, whether it's on television or whether it's at the match, I can I get really nervous before kickoff, and everyone, and I don't know, it's a totally different game. It's just the one game that you want to win, and it's great for the city. Everyone's talking about it, and afterwards, it's well, if you're on the winning team afterwards, it's really good. If you're not, it's quite hard. How about yourself? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I love it. I think what makes it is build up to it and anticipation of the week, and it's coming in, and they get nervous, and you think, and like I say, people are chatting about it, and you start getting goosebumps when the kickoff draws near, and when they up and down drawing it. It's certainly it certainly brings out the emotion. I really enjoy it. I'm a nervous wreck when it's on, and makes it even better when you win though.
Yeah, well, I know you don't. You might not want to talk about that result for the last one, but were you at that match?
Yeah, I was. And in answer to the question, no, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. The only thing, because I just remember, obviously, it being I think in any Sheffield derby, the atmosphere is electric, and it's amazing. And I couldn't get a ticket, but I just obviously it's difficult from a Wednesday point of view, but from going from kind of so high to so low within a matter of a minute really, and I think that's how quickly a game can change. But in a derby, that is just it's crazy.
All right.
Yeah, but I just wondered whether you was actually there and things.
Yeah, I was. Definitely want to forget. Who was a Wednesday player that you always secretly wanted to play for United?
Which Wednesday player ever secretly hoped played for United? That's a good question. I'll have to dig deep for that one. Do you know what? I don't know, but I think, going back quite a number of years, it's quite interesting actually, because on the radio on the way home today, I was listening, and I think it was Portsmouth Doncaster match, and they were talking about David Hirst's son and Chris Waddle's son. And I think they both possibly play for Portsmouth. And I think, like I say, going back quite a few years, but I think, both of those players were incredible players. And I think, it possibly, I think as players go, if they were in the United team, I wasn't going to complain, So yeah, definitely. Yeah. Is there any United players that you would have ever had in a Wednesday team?
Well, as much as I don't want to admit it, I think Sharp, Billy Sharp. I think just because of the goal scorer he is, and he's a fox in the box, and when he's on the pitch, you've got a pretty good chance of winning.
The one and only Billy Sharp, the legend.
No, I don't know about that, but yeah.
Well, a 36-year-old, he's certainly doing really well. He's just broken the record for the Championship's top scorer since the turn of the. It was since 2000, weren't it? So I think an incredible achievement, and to be still scoring regular goals at 36-year-old, I think. He would fit in any team. Of course, I'm biased because I support Sheffield United, but I think you're right. I think what an incredible player, and also is a really good ambassador as well. And I think he's a great role model for football in general. But specifically in Sheffield.
Yeah, right. No, that's it. I've had enough of talking about United now. And don't forget, Mod, that I have seen you in a Wednesday shirt. So
I can't remember that, Max. That's completely gone from my memory. I've got no recollection of that whatsoever.
We've got proof.
Yeah, but it's a good job. There's no videos on this podcast, so you can't show the photo.
So, moving on to music, what was the last album you listened to?
To music, oh crikey! I mean, to be quite honest, I'm not a music fan in a lot of respects, as in I go out and buy music and things like that. I like to quite like to just listen to the radio and things, but I am a big Coldplay fan. I do like Coldplay, and I do really like Oasis as well. So it not in terms of like albums and things, but definitely, you know, Coldplay and Oasis would certainly be right up there with the music there that I listen to and things. Yeah.
Have I told you that I'm going to see Coldplay in August at Wembley?
Oh, amazing! Wow.
I've heard that they've got a self-powered stage.
Wow.
You know, apparently they're very climate aware band.
Yeah. But I mean, that's something. It's something I've never heard of. That, I mean, it sounds incredible, and I think that, you know, a lot of these powerful kind of bands and groups and things, they can help with the climate change, can't they? Which, you know, a lot of people are inspired by that, and I think if that's something that they're doing, that's really good. Yeah, definitely.
So, is there anything you wanted to ask me?
Well, I mean, we do have, you know, we have conversations quite a lot, don't we, and things, and I think it's, you know, it's really nice to have this conversation. And I kind of guess, I think, you know, I see you now, you're in year 11 and you're going to be moving on soon. And I think one of the things I'd like to know is what your kind of aspirations are and what you would like to go on to when you do leave school.
Yeah. No, I really that can become a sports coach.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, so that's kind of right why I wanted to kind of ask you to see what, you know, because like I say, you are moving on soon, and it's, you know, there's a lot of opportunities out there, I think, and I think you've got that kind of, you know, natural leadership style, and I really hope you go on and do well, because and I think, again, going back to what we said earlier about sport, it's very powerful, you know, and it's inspiring, you know, not just for me and for you, but for others out there, and I think if you can pass your inspiration on again, that'd be amazing. I mean, I could definitely see you in some sort of coaching role and things, you know, and I think whether that's in football or whether it's in something else, you know, I used to work for, before I went into teaching, I worked for a company called Boccia Sheffield, and they used to send coaches out for school holiday clubs and various other things, and you know, you'd teach all sorts of different sports, you know, and I think that's a really nice option to be almost like a multi-sports coach, really. So hopefully you'll go on and do something really good. Yeah. So
I've done quite a lot of things up to now. You know, I quite like acting, and I obviously play boccia. You know, obviously I love my football, playing it and also watching it. And I did attend an acting school once as well, and I had to pick between that and football. You know, like you did between sport and art as well. Football obviously won as well.
Yeah, I think the thing is though, Max, I think you do a lot. You do a lot of different things, and you are, you know, you're very good at a lot of different things as well. And I always say this about sport, but I think life in general, I think it's, you know, the opportunity is to go out there and try different things, you know, and you know, I used to play a lot of football when I was growing up, but actually I think I enjoy seeing people, you know, just trying everything, you know, and if that's drama, if it's sport, if it's, you know, it could be anything whatsoever, you know. I saw you a few weeks ago at the, you know, climbing and things, and I know you've done that in the past, you know. So things happen for a reason. Some things, you know, some things you go on and do further, some things you stop, but that's how life works, isn't it? You have to try things. And I'm sure that'll continue in the future.
Yes. So I'm asking this everyone I interview. The last thing I'll ask you to do is write down your prediction for the winner of this year's World Cup and which 3 teams will get promoted from League One this year. Yeah.
So that's for the World Cup and the winner of the World Cup and who will get promoted to the Championship. Okay. I have got a question for you though. Just probably, I don't know if it's the last one, but a big Yorkshire derby coming up tomorrow. Have you got any predictions on the scoreline for that one?
No, I'll say 1-0 Wednesday. Yeah, I'm quite confident, but you never know.
Well, let's see what happens. I think you're right. I think it'll be a tight game. Is it? Where's it at? Is it Hillsborough or is it?
Yeah, so Hillsborough. Yep.
Yeah. Are you going tomorrow?
I will be.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. Yeah, I think it will be a tight game, but I think you're both on a fantastic run. So yeah, good luck to both teams.
Thanks, Mark. I hope you've enjoyed being a guest on today's pod, and cheers for coming on.
No, well, yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, and like I say, I was really excited to doing this. So yeah, no, it's brilliant, and thank you for having me. Of course, I was quite shocked when you wanted to do this little interview with me. So yeah, brilliant, yeah, and just keep up the good work. Like I say, I'm already looking forward to listening to your future podcasts.
Thanks, Mark. You have been listening to Max on the Max BB podcast. Join me again on the next episode, which will be out on Wednesday. Why? Come on, Mark, join in. We're all Wednesday, aren't we?
I think you'll find we're all blades.
Nah, not this pod. We're not.